Yo, yo, how's it going? What's Gucci, Ben? Oh, nice. Trying to get out of the theater job. I'm assuming that's why you're going, unless you have like a passion for IT. Currently right now just doing uh like very like elemental kind of like spirit characters right now. But also just been doing a lot of gestures and anatomy. So also like a twofer on just practicing anatomical forms. So yeah, getting these characters a little bit more form fitted. Oh, might be too big of a hand. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Nothing too crazy in store right now. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with like gesture and anatomy and like getting better at it. So, you know, I could apply it to characters a lot more efficiently. Maybe because we're gonna have this character be more elemental. She has a neck spine cord collar thing. Yeah, right now we're just trying to find opportunities to expand. Like right now, for this character, a couple things like I could figure out like more of the outfit, maybe what type of weapon they're using. Sometimes I like to like find opportunities of a different like equipment they might have, right? So for example, if like this collar thing was just like their chassis of like where they hold their head, like maybe I could put like emphasis on that of like, oh, what does that look like, right? So it could be like an actual like fire starter, like a oven torch. And then we can have like, if we pretend like this is the head, Yeah, we can like pretend that's the head and then kind of go from there. And then just kind of branch from there. Just play with some ideas. Maybe make this more of a statement if it's going to be like an important bit to the character. Give it a very statement element. But yeah. There's some scorch marks. Like it's insinuated that this body is like, maybe it's like a living body and they attach like this. So now the spirit lives in this like cauldron and this body is like maybe burnt to a crisp. Yeah. Different opportunities. Maybe keep it consistent with the character we have right here. Oh, maybe I can add a bandana. Thanks for his feedback, Ben. Do you know by chance how to enable a cursor without like having to, you know, leave stream? There we go. Just display capture. Do I do window capture? That'd be cool if there was like chains to this. Maybe like that. Maybe? There is an idea. I do have this on a separate screen. FYI. So, for context, I think this was more to, let me show you. So it does have the mouse, don't get me wrong, but I guess it was like more of a zoom, it says zoomed out view. So like majority of the time you can see, because like a lot of the times I'm like up here, right? Like, so like, yeah, I usually have it like there for context. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, sounds good. Let's see. What can I add? What if I... Let's see. Like a bodysuit like this? Be like elemental flames to get going. Yeah. And let's say did like the strap idea. Let's actually just continue with that idea and see where it goes. Say, yeah, that connects there. Hey Mary, welcome. Glad you're here. Actually, no. Actually, just like this part. Actually, I don't like some of these decisions. We'll stop it there and then. Yeah, that feels better. Okay. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Actually, there we go. Today's theme is fire elementals. So right now I'm just kind of playing with different opportunities of like fire, lava, anything that's like particularly heat. So right now, like this particular character is like a melting, like almost like a slime girl, but like with lava, and she's like kind of like melting a little bit. She's like pulling her face. And so just like playing with different opportunities in that sense versus just like you know, taking the route of, oh yeah, this like fire, and then let's just make a hot chick, right? Like trying to find some opportunities to bridge some gaps. So in this case, since we're talking about lava, I mean, like, she might have like thin dainty little hands, but like let's maybe give her like big shoes, right? I don't know. Explore ways of pushing proportion. And these are like rock shoes. Yeah. I'd imagine for this character, the arms aren't the most important point to kind of guard. If anything, it's best not to guard. The feet, yeah, because I think in my head, because when I think of like slime or like touching the ground, it's gonna like stick to the floor. So maybe she's like, her feet have corroded or like have built up that like lava pool that creates the obsidian. So she has like obsidian rock shoes or like legs. So we can find like opportunities to justify some of our design decisions. Maybe like rock, you know, points. Again, like she's I think it's a fun idea to think like she's melting. Yeah, I mean, this character can go in like, you know, a variety of different ways. A lot of times, like how I like to think when it comes to designing is to start off very vague, because I think the moment I start getting like reference is there's like decisions you make that like lock you into the design a little bit more, like a little bit more, right? So like, you know, the initial stage is like very up in the air. Like this could be anything. Sometimes you have an idea in mind what you want to draw, but a lot of times it's just kind of like loosey goosey. And I think for me, how I like to work is usually in the sense of just like starting really rough, not locking in. So we do want like this fire element character, but whether they're lava or they're a source of heat of some sort, or they're, you know, electricity to some extent is energy, and energy generates heat. So like it's not directly fire, but when we think about fire, we think about heat, right? So we can think about maybe like some type of electric element that maybe like when it sparks the floor or something, it like generates heat or something, and then that creates fire. So we draw a lot of like, you know, heat elements. But again, like I said, it's a ever expanding idea. I will check that out after the stream. But thanks, Ben, for looking for that. Yeah, Mary, to your point, sometimes those elements do or can take away from what you're trying to really achieve. My suggestion to you, if you run into that, is finding opportunities to add that exaggeration to your design elsewhere, right? So, for example, if I have big chunky shoes, like let's say right here, this is my big chunky shoes. Actually, they're not even that. Like, actually, I like the idea that they're like kind of pudgy. But to that point, if you want to like find opportunities to expand and not make this like your feet the focal point, if that's not like your intention, you would find opportunities to take this like shape language and apply it like somewhere else, a little bit more nuancy, right? So for example here, if all I'm doing is these like round corners and these like big bulbousy shapes, then I would kind of approach maybe like this liquid a little bit more similar to the style, while not really giving away too much of the like character's shape, like, because everything would then feel more consistent, versus if I like, it's the difference between like, let me draw an arm. If I drew this arm and then let's just say it's that, right? Like that arm, and we duplicate it, and let's say like this arm had a big ol' chunky gauntlet, right? And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like now, like this arm just feels like out of place a little bit. But if we were to add, let's say, an equally kind of bulbousy shoulder pad to this character, actually don't know the relation of this arm, but like if you add an equally like bulbousy shape to this arm, and maybe like a bulbousy like elbow pad, then everything kind of like falls into place. You know, maybe you don't want to make it like evenly displaced like how I have it here, and you just have it like, you know, big, medium, small, but it's equally bulbousy all around. So just keep that in mind. So yeah. So yeah, maybe I want to add like maybe something a little bit more crazy, because I feel like the shoes are enough, but one thing I've never seen is maybe let's see. This is like a shot in the dark, but it's an idea. Maybe like a exo like rock lava arm, right? So maybe this character can't like really hold themselves together all that well, so like they've created like an exosuit of an arm. Maybe it shouldn't be as direct as one, but right. So we have we have spots socketing in, and then we have here. Yeah, and maybe this spews out lava as well, like it's a redirected form of energy. And so now, look at this. Maybe that's how they like keep themselves afloat, so they don't melt away. I would imagine this is magically sourced. This isn't like, this doesn't hold any like logic or bearings to it. Maybe we can make this a lot more chunkier. So now we have this like rock. So this obsidian exosuit holds this character together. And you can add some stilts right here. But yeah, I don't know. Silly idea, but it's an idea, and that's what we're kind of looking for right here. Poodle. Now, let's try a different idea. This character is like really long, actually. Yeah, a really long character. Can change the proportions. Yeah, usually a lot of times it's the case. I mean, this is like a fun character. Usually I would have like a prompt. But my process usually goes like very, very wide out, and then I kind of like just dial it in. Unless like the project is already kind of set for me and they've given me everything I needed and it's not super blue sky, then I'll just kind of like follow the task directions. But a lot of the times, yeah, I just kind of start really broad. Maybe that, and oh, this could be like a kind of candle. If I were to think about that. Oh, yeah. Okay. We have an idea. Yeah. So we can think about a candle. And maybe we can draw like a, I don't know, a really cool dialed in mask. This could be like a more higher echelon spirit, or like elemental that lives off the candles of the earth or the wax. So stuff like this is usually where you start thinking about, because what ends up happening a lot of the times is these initial concepts come with like a feeling. Usually come with like a feeling, and a lot of the times when you do this like early stage, it can be pushed a lot more. And so a lot of the times you capture that initial feeling that, like, you know, people resonate with, and they're like, oh wait, like, or people resonate with, and you go, oh wait, like that's an interesting approach or an interesting idea. And so you look to explore that to get like the most out of that like feeling, right? So yeah, if I were to like take, let's say, like this character to finish, I would like explore opportunities of the mask. I would explore opportunities of this like hood thing. I would explore opportunities of like how this cloak kind of comes down, right? And so yeah, that's kind of what we're doing right now. It's just this initial part of just creating a variety of these types of characters where it's like they could go in any direction. Maybe let's see. Yeah. Then there's a little wisp of smoke. Yeah. Yeah. You honestly, to an extent, a lot of the times, like companies are just like looking for this specifically. These types of sketches where they want to see like how you think about ideas, and a lot of the time, like it's funny enough, the biggest hurdle in like most people's like artistic journey is like just getting to look like how the vision is supposed to look. But like a lot of people just have like great ideas, right? And so if you have like really solid fundamentals and you know what you're doing when you're drawing, like fundamentals and like just art in general is like the window to other people's vision. So or like the windows to like seeing what you see, right? And if like you see something that you're like, yes, I know what this is going to look like. This is going to look like the greatest thing on the planet. And then your foundations are really like holding you back. A lot of times it's hard for people to see that vision and be on board with what you want to be on board. So when doing your portfolio, like with just sketches, if your foundations are up to date, like, yeah, you could get a job, like no problem, because they can trust that by the end of it, you can communicate your vision to its fullest, without like kind of guessing and checking, right? Like you don't want it to be passed to like the 3D like modeler and they're asking like a million questions, and then that's like a lot of money, you know, kind of taken from the company and stuff like that, of when it could have just been solved originally. So yeah, actually, you know what, I'm gonna, so yeah, you want to make sure that it is on point. Yep. Gotta do it though. And it's funny because like I think it's not even so much like you have to do like just crazy rendering. It's like I said, it's just more about communicating your vision to its fullest. Currently right now in my what do you call it, paid section on School, which is where I like usually give like most of my portfolio feedback to for students. And it's more about like just that process alone. A lot of the times, one of the students that I'm helping out with, he has like really good ideas. However, like his initial approach was just like really lacking because his foundations and his cleanup and execution were like kind of holding him back a bit. But since he's been held to like the higher standards of that, and he's like really seeking to get a job, he's excelled like crazy. And I think he's like on like a really great path. Yeah, it's just it's not even so much like just rendering, it's just like clarifying the idea. Like for example, what I mean by that, to even get more specific with it, so the difference between a non-clear idea and a clear one is, if I, let's say, let me put this away so I can have like a blank space. If I, you know, go about doing this, right, where I'm like, I want to draw, let's stick with like the lava elemental. Let's say elemental, mental, let's say fire, and then we can break it down like lava, right? Lava. So for me, exploring opportunities, you know, this page right here is fine. Like some of the ideas are like pretty clear. However, one thing I noticed with students and how they get lost is they'll do this, right? They'll think of a sketch page, right? Quotation marks. A lot of like industry professionals like to call these napkin sketches because they're so rough that you could put them on a napkin and like not bat an eye, but there's something there, right? So for example, like let's say I'm drawing like the lava characters and I'm like this, right? And there will be a lot of energy in these, and that's why they're called like napkin sketches, because they're like super fun in their like approach, right? So I might do something super loose like that, and then let's say like I drag my arm and like there's a nice flow, right? Maybe there's like some sparks and, you know, fire. Maybe you can crank up the idea even more. There's like something like that. And then we have like an idea, which is fine, right? I think like even showing this would be like okay for like any like art director, right? Because it's like, oh, we see the elements. We see like the kind of core stomach. We see this like blast of hair, and then we see this like fire, and there's like it's nice flow, right? We got a feeling going on. However, we get into the next stage where it's like what happens is students go from like this to like fully rendered, right? Or like, actually, yeah, they'll go from this, which is like it gets the thumbs up, and then like next stage is like they'll start like hardcore, like, you know, rendering in like the details. Let's say we got like something like that, you know, get like some of the facial expressions in there, and then let's just start going in. And then they'll, you know, I'll see something like this where it's like they'll do like chicken scratch lines, and you know, they'll start you know, rendering the details. Like they'll just start like really just like going in and doing like, you know, a lot. I feel like my brain is like, make it messy, and then my brain's like trying to make it messy. But yeah, start rendering in details, start getting in like shading and all this other stuff, right? So they'll start finalizing stuff like this, and of course then, like, let's say we get into like color, start getting into color, and we start exploring this, and let's say like they have like red eyes, right? They start getting like really like muddied into it, right? How I usually like to approach, and a lot of the times you could still get the same energy, still get the same flow, still get the same thing. However, I really stress to like take your time. I don't even need to duplicate this bit, where we can try to get the same kind of energy in the pose. Maybe we can expand the get the same kind of essence, except this time what has really changed. Couple things. I'm not actually, let me just do it to another arm. I'm not doing this, right? This shows that you don't know what you're doing, because each line is a decision, and you're making 20 decisions every time you do a line, right? So when you're approaching this, let's say if I'm doing the exact same pose, when you're approaching this, you just, actually, let me see if I can actually get the, so this character is right. We want to make it clear that it's fire. Maybe like some char, some things kind of spill out. But as you can see, I'm not like, you know, I like to call it like chicken scratching, right? But I'm not like chicken scratching. Every line has like some level of intent, right? And that's like a biggest thing, is like sometimes like there's some like people, the only reason why you're rendering is just to show that you can, but a lot of the times it goes down to like the basics of like, is your idea even like clear enough for like the viewer to like look at it and be like, ah, yes, like I know exactly what I'm looking at, relatively speaking. So let's say like, the hands I might need like practice on. But if you feel like you can't like accurately display like your vision more clearly, it might be because you're just lacking in a fundamental area, right? And so in like, let's say this case, right? Drew like a more muscular toned character. Yeah, in like this case, we're just looking to display, the confidence in our abilities to like just execute, right? Sometimes you can really struggle. It's not to say that like, oh, you can't struggle and you have to be perfect every single time. But it's just a matter of like clarity, and are you displaying that clarity as, properly as you can, right? So right here, let's, make sure that if I draw this, like I'm thinking about it like a giant Giga Chad sword that they're displaying in the back of their arm, right? So like something like that they're holding. It might be a huge perspective issue like right here and like right here to be like, oh, is that like a cleaver? Like I don't know what that is. Like, and how are they holding it like that? And all this other stuff, right? And so, yeah, that's what it comes down to a lot of the times is like, it's not so much that you need to render like you're an illustrator, but you need to have ideas that are clear enough for the viewer to be like, oh, I get the idea, right? And it's unique. Like if it's unique on top of that, it's like, oh, snap, that's cool, right? But yeah, that's my 2-bit advice about like doing sketch pages like this. It's like you don't have to render like this entire page. You just need to make it clear enough to the viewer that like you know exactly what you're doing. Oh, there we go. Oh, sorry about that. this. This. Maybe they have a full body, like, latex suit. Whoa, dude. Me, the real. Art is going good. Yeah, just been catching up on the. Wait, what? This. Yeah, this is two separate things. Okay, so merge down. Just catching up on some like foundation studies and getting better at that, and then translating that to like stream and character work. This is cool. Let me add that. Could have something like that. Could have something like that. Okay, there we go. Sudo saved it. Maybe, we'll just keep it that way. What about you, good sir? What about you? How's the art going? Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, usually this like streaming is end of work stuff, so I'm like just kind of chilling. Like life's good right now, so I usually not that like me being high energy means life is bad, but like yeah, it's more of I'm just chilling. And Sebastian, to your answer, or to your question, in terms of PC setup, currently right now, I can't give you like specifics per se, just because I would have to like look that up real quick and then like take away from the stream. But I will say that when I was using Blender, the biggest thing about Blender is your VRAM. And so like a lot of the times if you have a good graphics card with at least like 12 to 24 VRAM, like you can run Blender with like zero issues. Now the cost of that may vary. You could get like a pretty up-to-date PC for about like, I don't know, like it probably comes with like a 40 series and probably like in like one of the latest Intel's processors. But the biggest thing is your graphics card. Like I currently right now run a 3090, and it has like 24 gigs of VRAM, which allows you to make bigger scenes, even if you don't want to, like, you know, you said it was low poly, but still, like, you might run into an issue where, like, you upscale your rendering, or you might do something where, like, you are probably gonna, like, use some VRAM more often than not. And so, yeah, just recommending on that, like, to just get a setup with a higher VRAM. And because Blender is honestly, with, like, even without it, like, you don't even actually have to stress all that much about Blender. But if you are making a lot more, like, complicated scenes, even if they're low poly, it can run into the issue of, like, your computer not being able to handle it all that much because of the amount of pixels that might be on the screen. So that's what I would say. In terms of specs, I can't give that to you right now because I don't know it. But yeah, anything currently up to date, like, literally should run what do you call it? It perfectly fine. And Jay, yeah. Yeah, it's more of like end of day, like just chilling, enjoying the stream, talking to people, answering questions. You know, it's more of a lax time when I think about it. Actually, yeah, no, we'll keep it. We'll keep it. Let's see. For the sake of it, let's kind of experiment. Yeah, like during this stage, I like to experiment a lot. Actually, yeah, let's keep it like that. Actually, no. Let's see. Well, currently on my mind right now is this, like, slug, lava elemental person thing. So let's just do that. Let's just have the idea on the paper. Why not? And then maybe they have, like, their spinal. This could be like rocks, and it, like, shoots out. It's like a mini volcano shooting out. Maybe clads like that. Yeah. And then maybe they could be like a more colossal kind of character, so we could show like a little character below for scale. Maybe change their face. Actually, there you go. Now we're pushing some elements. Okay, sounds good, Jay. Yeah, Sebastian, you don't have to go too crazy on it. Yeah, the only programs, you know, the more kind of, you know, even I would say even ZBrush, like, you could be pretty safe with it, but I know Maya might be a bit of a hassle. But Blender's one of those, like, user-friendly ones where it's like, unless you're doing like some crazy scenes, you don't need that much VRAM, but it's always like nice to have, just in case, because Photoshop can crash, like, or not Photoshop, Blender could crash for like a variety of reasons, and you kind of don't want that to be like your VRAM to be like one of those reasons where you're just kind of creating a scene, you're like minding your own business, you're not paying attention to how much you're actually using, and then out of nowhere, you're like lagging like crazy because you use like 8 gigs like already. I've had that happen before, like on accident. I accidentally used too much memory, and it just like slowed, or to the point of even crashing Blender. And so, yeah, you just kind of want to avoid that bit. Also, I say 3090 and not a 4090 because for one, 4090s are better than a 3090 in terms of performance. However, it still holds the same amount of VRAM. So you're essentially getting like a discounted 4090 with a 3090. Doesn't mean it's like not good. Like I still think it's probably better than like a 4080 or like a 4070, but it's not as like performance powerful as like a 4090, but it still holds the same amount of VRAM, which is 24. Yeah, and we could just kind of hold right there. Again, just ideas. And then maybe can have some like fire kind of emanating, and then like some smoke. currently right now, I'm gonna look into the Demon Avenue. Maybe make her ears down. I don't know. And then, let's see. To make her shoulder kind of dislocated, let's bring it back up just a tad. Yeah, there we go. Kind of a more bulkier character. Maybe we can go a little crazy with this character's outfit by lowering the opacity. And then let's see what we can do. Seems like a more of a warrior type character. Maybe we can put that collar again, except this time we can go full brute. Let's see, hold up. Can put kind of a soft pad right here. And then, let's see. Of course, we're gonna have big, bulky metal armor. Let's see. Actually, maybe we could do this. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I'd honestly, or if you guys are currently, you know, drawing along, currently run, if you're new and you haven't joined my school community already, it's down in the description. I would really love to see your guys's, you know, sketches if you're drawing along or, you know, you're approaching that in the Wins channel. And so, yeah, school is like usually where I hold my community at. It's more of a platform where I could post like, you know, demos, you know, private kind of events, stuff like for the community, and then also a place where you guys can meet. A lot of the times, you know, I personally use school on the notion that like, what do you call it? Sometimes Discord is like more of a kind of just community based. You know, sometimes creating videos, finding notions, like having like a guidance of a classroom or even just like one-on-one feedback. gets kind of like climatized together, where you have one channel and then you have like a billion others, where school is just more like, I'm here to learn, I'm here to grow, I'm here to kind of meet people and network, and kind of take my character design skills to the next level. So yeah, if you guys are looking to kind of take that avenue and grow more and post online and find a great group of people, we got over 500 members, and a lot of testimonials saying and you're just hearing it from the people. It's just like it's a great way to meet people. Yeah. Going pretty tame on this armor, which I think I'll explore another armored character in this similar vein of like kind of fire and brimstone. I think I'm going a little too tame for my liking for this character. And I think I think the pose is really carrying. Yeah, pose is really carrying like the appeal of this character, but not the character itself, which is fine. I think that can happen sometimes where your character is like posed really nicely, but the design is kind of like weak. And if you have like a more simpler game, I think that works nicely because you don't have to over design like your characters, and they have like a more nice aesthetic to that. And so posing them is what brings in the like nice amount of appeal. But when you're looking to make it a little bit more complex, I don't think the pose is as important. So yeah, we'll just wrap up putting the kind of feet. Maybe kind of give her like a fun big. Actually, no, I don't think that's gonna fit. Maybe. Hold up. Merge layers. That could fit. Let's see. But I gotta make it work. Okay. Okay. Go here. Could kind of work. Kind of, but I need to bring it out more. Let's see. No. Let's see. Let me... Because I think I want to get bold with this character, so let's just organize this page a little bit more. Let's just move this character over here, this character, see, this character right here, and then yes, this character now can be moved right here. Perfect. Sweet. Okay. So if we actually pull her arm out more, maybe we could see like the thumb. We can have like this. And right now, the reason why I'm like trying to switch it up is because we want this, whatever I'm trying to give her, which I think I might. Let's see. Could always give her a sword, which I always find fun. Actually, that would be really fun. A sword that like clips at the end. I don't know if that's like feasible, but it looks fun. And we have it like right here. And then we have like something like clips right here, and then the like kind of shaft right here. Maybe we can, let's see. We can add that. See if we can. Yeah, add some smoke, some fire, some brimstone. Yeah, real fun character. Okay, cool. I think you know what I'll do. It's because we got like 20 minutes left. Get rid of that character. And then what we can do, let's see. Actually, I want to go more creature route, so I'll have to tone this back a little bit. More berserk, if anything. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. We're melding in shapes. Let's try the melted approach again, except this time they're just more monstrous. Okay. Let's see. Oh, maybe we can add like a mask. Yeah, this is not a nice lava lady. This woman would hurt. I occasionally like to draw the average monster. You know, it's funny. There's like a lot of things. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but I personally have like guilty pleasure kind of itches where I like to just either draw like monsters are usually like my guilty pleasure because they're so easy to like disproportionately mess up the forms, but like you could just blame it on the fact that it's a monster and just kind of get away with some of like the excuse of like, oh, this is why the forms aren't that way because it's like it's a monster, right? But when you make a monster with like accurate forms and proportions and like you just make it look as crazy as possible with that like in mind, like you can create something like genuinely fun. And that's why sometimes I enjoy drawing like monster creature characters because you just get crazy with them. Let's say this character is on fire. You get some obsidian rocks here. You get some on her legs. And then maybe like, I think her mask would, or like face thing. Yeah, we'll call it a mask face. Would have a little bit more surface detail. Would be like something a little adherent to a skull then. Something like that. Yeah, that looks cool. Yeah, so this is usually my favorite part of designing characters, is the application of just drawing just whatever you want in the beginning before you start to have to like dial it in and like pick actually what you want to draw, because then from there it just becomes like a guessing and checking, choosing, right? So we got before we capped the night off, we got, you know, this was a fire elemental. We started off with this character. I think it was like a quick pass, right? I think goes a long way. And then we moved into this more monster liquidy area, and then we went to this angelic candle like element. We went to bodysuits, armor, and then now back to like a more monstrous, like straight up monster look. And then even right here, like we have like a little deity kind of walking like element, fire element. So yeah, I mean, you know, we got 7 viewers this time around, so appreciate you guys showing up. And I will be live streaming again at 5. So make sure to subscribe and, you know, like the stream. And then, yeah, man. So for all those who have joined, thank you very much. And you guys have a great night.